Good afternoon and welcome to On the Spot Motorsports Media. I'm your host, Mitchell Gunter, along with Robert Simpson. And tonight we're going to be diving into the PDRA, a great racing organization that's been around for a few years. And I tell you, what a lot of people, they think of the NHRA as the lead of drag racing. But I want to tell you what, if you ever go to one of these PDRA events, you're going to be totally blown away about how tough the competition is. And one of the two favorite classes that I have is Pro Boost and Pro Nitrous, both Pro Mod classes that are split in two. And I'm telling you, the competition is really thick. But we have Tyler Crossnoe joining us tonight. He is the race director for PDRA. And not only that, he's also the vice president of Virginia Motorsports Park. So he's got two big hats that he wears, doesn't he, Robert?
Yes. The man's always working, always hustling, always working to take care of the racers, the tracks, the events. So look forward to talking to him. And you're right about the PDRA. It is the baddest eighth mile heads-up competition out there. And there is practically a class for everybody. Everything from, like you said, Pro Boost, Pro Nitrous, top sportsman, top dragster, all the way down to a bracket bash. Yes, and a lot in between. I tell you, it is some exciting stuff.
Yeah, I even like the 632 class because to me that class is kind of sits right between Pro Mod and Pro Stock. Far as when you look at speeds and stuff. But I'll tell you what, we're going to bring Tyler on here in just a second. But before we do that, hey, we have a couple of commercials we'd like to run. We'll be right back after this.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
With more than 30 years of engine and drivetrain experience, Big Stuff is your one-stop total power management solution. Whether you're controlling a 600 horsepower street car and want the best drivability, or have a 6,000 horsepower race car, need the most bulletproof, reliable control hardware, Big Stuff can do it all. All of our components are designed and manufactured right here in the USA, including our computers, wiring harnesses, touchscreen displays, and more. Nothing is built offshore, and we take pride in being one of the only automotive aftermarket manufacturers that can say this. Learn more at BigStuff3EFI.com or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram for more information.
Tyler, I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. I know that you've been busy. Y'all got some events coming up. Y'all have y'all's last four coming up pretty much in a row. That will kick off in Michigan and then end there in Virginia.
Yep. Yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier about how, we kind of been on like a 6-week break with PDRA, and I even kind of said, I was like, man, I feel like we're just like the lone stepchild that just kind of got shoved off in the back corner. Nobody's talking about us or anything like that. But now it wasn't based off of the way we wanted it to happen, but the way the schedule kind of laid out, we ended up with a 5-6 week break in the middle of the year when it was at its hottest, which is kind of okay.
Right.
But we are almost done loading trailers here in Virginia, probably leaving in the next couple of days, headed up north to US 131 Motorsports Park in Martin, Michigan. And we'll be joining forces with that team to put on the Northern Nationals up there. Not only will our PDRA cars be there, we'll also have a ton of exhibition cars that the 131 staff has put together. Jason, Stephanie Peterson, Samuel, that entire team up there, they do a great job. And to pair their show with ours will be I think it'll be our third year doing this, third or fourth year that we've done this together. But sort of excellent show, really something unique that you get to see everything from top. This year you'll see Top Fuel Harleys, Top Fuel dragsters, nostalgia front engine cars, jet dragsters, jet trucks. It's a show that all of your senses get to see everything. So I always enjoy going up there, and known that family for nearly 10 years now. And always a good time going to hang out with Jason and Samuel and that entire team up at 131.
Well, and the tickets for spectators are not expensive. It's very reasonably priced for you to bring out the family and enjoy these events, no matter where y'all are traveling throughout the season.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that we really try to put out there is the family atmosphere. Our racers really built that. It was, every promoter talks about, this is the atmosphere that I'm going to bring to the table. We can all talk about it all we want to. The racers create that. The people that come to support the events are who create the atmosphere.
Right.
And we have a lot of teams that will show up with, a top sportsman car, a top dragster, a junior, and the same mixes in with our pro classes. We even have some pro classes that will, they come race with us because their kids can come race. And it's a complete family program that's harnessed by the racers that the series gets to latch onto by giving discounted tickets for certain age kids, or even certain age gets in free at most events as well.
Well, and then you have the Pro Mod classes that y'all split up. You got Pro Boost and you got Pro Nitrous, and both of them are very competitive. And, speak of someone I used to watch all the time in the NFL is Fletcher Cox.
Yep.
And now he is racing in the PDRA, which is really great to have someone like a Super Bowl champion now in a door car racing in your organization.
It is. And a lot of people that are around a lot of us know, but Fletcher and I have been personal friends for probably around 12 to 13 years now. We kind of raced together through some small tire stuff. I was helping Daniel Ferris for a lot of years.
Oh, okay.
And then Fletcher was hanging out with Sean Ayers when Sean was driving some of his stuff. And we all ended up at a VFW in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and we all became friends by the end of the night. And we're not going to tell that story on live because there's a lot of people that don't need to know the details of that story. But let's just say I was a little smart-nosed kid that Daniel and I were running pretty good that weekend, and Sean was having a little bit of trouble, which we've all raced together, and we were all just buddies hanging out talking. And I might have been running my mouth, and Fletcher might have carried me out of there looking like a suitcase. But ever since then, we have been the best of friends.
Okay. Yeah, I can totally envision it. I was going to say, that's a big man. I just want to see how in the world he gets in and out of a pro mod.
I will say he has, and we all used to joke with him when he played. Man, you a grown man. Like you are the definition of a grown man.
Oh yeah.
And he is slimmed up. Like he actually looks really good off of retirement. Some people when they retire out of the sports,
go the other way.
They go the other way.
Right.
Fletcher is probably. I would bet that he's lost probably 40 pounds. But he looks good. Look like he's getting in and out of the car very well, just doing really good. And honestly, I know it's making his brother proud. He got back in a race car and doing that. So
I was going to say a 20-layer suit head to toe and all that stuff will do it to you.
Hey, I'm telling you, I don't know who made that suit, but they probably lost some sales because it probably took 3 to make one for my man.
I was getting ready to say, it's like going, we don't have a template for this.
We don't have to custom build this one.
Right. We keep hitting the up arrow on everything that we're doing. So,
well, I'll tell you what, if I get around him and talk to him and hopefully interview him, hopefully at at one of the events in the pits. I always liked watching him play, but unfortunately, I've always been a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Man,
I hope he doesn't hit me over.
Don't mention it. Just don't ever mention that.
Yeah, no, you can't say that.
No. That's like saying you're a Pittsburgh fan or something like that.
Man, that's rough.
I grew up like a Pittsburgh. I grew up like a Pittsburgh, but that's when football was football.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't bring that up to the man whenever you.
No. No. I mean,
did you
read
not
the
see
room, you know.
Yeah, did you not see the video of when he talks smack to the president of the United States for being a Cowboys fan? Like, that's all you need to know.
No, I didn't see that, but I'm just certain thing. Yeah, read the room. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Exactly.
that man can still reach you, no matter
Oh
how
yeah,
far
he's still a big
no matter
man.
how far you step back. Like going, no. So you just don't need to do that.
No, but he's done a really good job. He's tested here with us on the racetrack. Literally jumped in the race car and looked like he'd been doing it all the years that he'd been playing football. Hasn't overdriven the car, has found his limits, and has really made excellent runs down the racetrack in a good car with a good team.
You look at him playing football, even though he was a defensive lineman. You have to be quick on your feet. You have to have fast reflexes, and he's just transferred that from the football field right into the car.
Yep, he has. He's done a really good job of not getting himself in trouble in a race car, and we all know that at those speeds you can do that in a hurry. But he has done an excellent job of behind the wheel, really getting comfortable in the car. Has a lot of confidence in the car with Phil Schuler tuning it and the Pat Busey power that he has in between the frame rails. So it's been a good deal, and he's making some noise. They're letting him get comfortable, so he'll start talking here in a little bit.
Yeah. You just don't need nobody trash talking to each other, you know what I mean? But I mean, that's part of it, you know.
Yeah. He has fun with it.
But I tell you what, you wear a lot of hats. Okay, not only race director PDRA, but vice president Virginia Motorsports Park. But I mean, I believe you even worked at Holly Springs.
Yep.
You worked there. You worked at track Jackson.
Went to started out in Jackson. Went to Holly Springs, Mississippi. Whenever I left there, I ended up at Memphis for 2 stints as track manager there with Paul Cartwright. So did that for a couple of years, and then went to work for VP Racing Fuels for an extended period of time there, and then traveled after I left there. Traveled for about 5 or 6 years with my own consulting company, doing traction stuff and race direction and all that. And then that's what kind of got me tied into PDRA in 2018, whenever I was just doing track prep, and then it kind of morphed into a full-time gig.
Yeah, he'll do it. But I mean, you have a reputation of, for lack of better terms, traction. Okay. Yeah. But track prep, you have a reputation for that. And we know you've been all over the world doing that and working with that. But basically, who was your mentor coming up that basically took you under their wings to help teach you this? Because I call it like a black magic or a lost art or tribal knowledge, however you wish to say it. And yes, it's science, because we've seen people. Everybody's gone to a track and seen people prep, and you're like going, okay, I don't care how much you spray on, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. It just didn't stop, back up and punt. You know what I mean? But how did you get your start there, and who helped you?
Yeah, really, I'll be honest. I kind of started when I was 16, when I worked at Jackson. I was kind of working the tower, and I was like, man, it doesn't look that difficult to do that. So when I went to Holly Springs, I was working with Jabbo, who's since passed away. But Jabbo and my dad were very good friends that raced together. So not only had I worked with him professionally, he had been a longtime family friend. They're probably both sitting upstairs with at the best seat in the house watching the night.
Right.
But I ended up starting to learn the track prep side, kind of side by side with Jabbo. He was track manager down there. I was kind of race director, just running the tower, announcing all of that. And when I was there were a lot of times that he would say, hey, I've got to go run out. I got to do this, got to do that. Get the racetrack ready for me. So I kind of was self-taught in a way, as well as working beside Jabbo. And then we really took it to the next level as for radial racing in that area. Radio racing in that area was really kind of didn't have a home. Everybody was going to South Georgia for Donald's races back then, but really outside of those at that time, there was really nothing else going on, at least to the level of an all radial race. So I want to say it was 2012 or 2013. I think it was 2013. Jabbo and I ended up putting together 2 events there that were wildly successful, excellent events, really kind of put that place on the map back then as somewhere else you can go fast.
Right.
So we were back and forth on that. And then whenever I went to work for VP, Jason Ruckert and myself were hand in hand. You know, we were the two guys that when you picked up the phone on the VP Traction phone number on the website, it was either Jason or myself that answered the phone. So I would have to say probably those two guys were the ones that gave me the opportunities. And then after that really kind of guided me in ways of not really, hey, you're doing this wrong, but hey, you're going to learn that that's not the way.
Right.
When you run into the roadblock, try this on the way out, and it will help you. So a lot of the track prep stuff, and I'll be honest, the last couple of years, I've kind of passed the baton to Gavin Carter, who's now our track manager here at Virginia. Also doing some race direction track prep stuff at PDRA as well. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of passed the baton to him to take a higher role in both businesses as far as direction and business side. But a lot of the track prep stuff is learning from your mistakes and learning what the mistake was and not doing it again. Honestly, that is, I would say probably 60% of it. It is going out, having a baseline of, hey, look, we know this works. Once you find that baseline, it's okay. Hey, this is how you start every week, every morning, whatever it may be, because that's the way to go. You know, let's be honest. That was the way how you start that. You know, if you're going a pro mod race, you're doing something different on the starting line. If you're doing a bracket race, you're doing something different. If you're on a radial race, you're doing something different. So all genres of racing have kind of a specialized final prep, I guess you would call it.
Right.
Well, I tell you, talking about radial racing, I've been at South Georgia, and I swear after they do the burnout and they're getting ready to, run their cars into beams, you can actually see the rubber stretch, like bubble gum coming off the tires to the track.
and it's, I'll even say that game has changed so much in the last couple of years. I'll be honest and say we don't really do a lot of radial racing here in Virginia. Not that we don't enjoy it or anything of the same. The cost of doing
the expense,
and like since COVID, traction compound has even gone up more than what it ever was. So the offset of doing a radial prep ends up costing more to the racers. So honestly, it's kind of like you have to kind of pick and choose your battles, where I would say pre-COVID, 2013, 2017, 2018, really it was like, oh, you got a test and tune tonight? We're radial prepping because we're going to radial prep and that's going to cover us for a bracket car, a motorcycle, a street car, whatever. But if you have somebody show up with a 420 door car that's on 275s, right down the racetrack they go, because it wasn't as financially crippling to a business as it is nowadays. And I think we're seeing that across the board as far as racetracks around the country. You see it becoming you see guys that are longtime radial racers that are, hey, where's a radial test session going on this week? Where used to be, it was like, hey, you can go all the time and go anywhere you want to your local track because you had that radial prep, where now it's not as readily available as it used to be.
Right. We agree with you because we've seen different examples over the years, like you said, of just, as Stevie Jackson called it, that flypaper prep.
Yeah.
And that's what he calls Georgia. Now, I want to say, Gary, we're going to get to your question, buddy, here in just a second. Mm-hmm. But I think Holly Springs, wasn't that the first? Didn't Stevie Jackson with the Orange Mustang, didn't he run the first like 14s or 420?
Yep.
14s.
He was the first one to the 14s.
Right. And that's before he nosed it into the wall or came around on him. Yeah.
That was the OG pumpkin.
Yes. Yes, it was. That's when I liked.
Yes.
I really liked radial racing because it was actual radial tires that had to have at least 2 treads on them.
I enjoyed that day of radial racing because it was not as track prep dependent. Don't get me wrong. Technology changes, converter technology, engine technology, power adder, tires, all of it. It's all changed in the time that I started to now.
Right.
But the days when, X.275 was 440s, Radial versus the World was 390s.
Mm-hmm.
That to me was like the epicenter hub of radial small tire racing.
Oh yeah,
because it wasn't. You could kind of race through all the days. You could race through the day. You could race at night. It was challenging, but at the same time, you could still battle it out on the racetracks. Whereas now it's so fast that it's so track prep dependent.
Yeah,
and it to me, it's a hard way to go race right now.
To me, the fields were closer together back then than what they are.
I agree.
And you have more cars too.
And I was about to say they may not have been tighter, but I think the fields were deeper back then.
Yeah, exactly.
You had more cars in that elapsed time range.
Right. And I mean, and also there was another association that used to run out of the Alabama area, US
Orska back in the day.
Orska, that's it.
Yep,
Orska
back in the day. That was before even the Donald stuff.
Right.
They were, easy street, cheap street, limited street, kind of the OG 10.5,
right.
10.5 days. I'll be honest, Orska was kind of my first blood of small tire racing. Mm-hmm. Growing up in West Tennessee in that area, Huntsville was 3.5 hours away. Huntsville was Orska's hotbed.
Right. I didn't realize. I thought you were farther away now. I guess that's not that bad.
Yep. And that was a time that was very popular because you didn't have a lot of track prep. So people were racing on slicks and they weren't really to the radial stuff yet. And then all of a sudden the first radial prep came out when Wade Rich and all that crew down there kind of was like, I think you can go fast on this stuff. What happens when you just spray it? and there it went. Yep. And Wade, in my opinion, is probably still one of the best in the country of radial prep because he is so talented when it comes to making a small tire radial compound tire go down the racetrack. I don't think there's anybody better in the country.
I'd have to agree with that.
Well, we were talking a little bit about Virginia Motorsports Park. What's left on y'all's schedule there? Any other big races and how's the bracket program going?
A lot. No, actually, this weekend is our summer break. I will say this is like the first weekend that I think in like 4 years that I've said we're just going to take a weekend off in the summer and let our employees go have a week off and all this. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with my hands. I'll be honest. I'm not real sure why. But yeah, this weekend we just kind of said, hey, look, we had a pretty strong run of a lot of events in a row. Our NHRA national event, a couple of big money bracket races, our point series. It was just a good time for everybody just to kind of, hey, let's let our employees go have a week off. Let's let our racers go take some time to get their stuff ready to go. Next weekend, when we're in Martin, Michigan, our Dirtplex is open for a mud bog. So we'll have a mud bog back in our Dirtplex next Saturday. And then after that, we come back to a 4 or 5 day bracket race with TV Promotions, making their first stop over here.
Oh,
so we got
really?
So Tyler Bohannon, Brian Whitworth, that bunch has got a big money race here. And then we come out of that with a couple of more big events. Jason Miller's XDA Bike Series, back into our VP Racing Fuels ET Bracket Series, a double divisional the week after Indy. So we just got a lot going on. And then we kind of end the year with our big show at the first weekend of April, which is the PDRA World Finals. And then this year we've combined it with the Night of Fire that used to be in the summer. So kind of, I'm going to say we're kind of using the Stampede of Speed week-long extravaganza template. Right. We'll start that weekend off Thursday with our PDRA All-Star race, which is called Pro Stars. That's a free shootout to the 8 drivers who gain the most Pro Stars points through the 9 races, which Martin's our last points race for that. So Pro Star standings will be locked in after next weekend. Then Friday night, we have a concert and a big racer party. Saturday is our Night of Fire with jet cars and nostalgia funny cars and jet trucks and all the show along with the PDRA classes. And then Sunday's Championship Sunday where we'll crown champions for PDRA.
Well, I'll tell you what, having the jet cars and everything, that's a big draw for spectators to come out, especially for parents to bring their kids out. And that's the way that we keep this thing rolling. on and on. Finding ways of people falling in love with drag racing, and it's parents bringing kids, and hey, I want to do that one day. They may be the next big name.
That's right. And that's really something that's cool about PDRA is, we have competitors in top junior dragster that start at the age of 8. And those kids from 8 years old to 16 are in a junior dragster, and they can race with the PDRA series 8 times a year and chase a world championship. That's something unique about PDRA that a lot of other series don't have, is a championship series for juniors. But, I've always said, and it's funny from a big car standpoint, you're always like, I just want to make a lap. Can we please just make a lap? Like, do we have to go run these weed eaters that need mufflers? Like, yes, all juniors need mufflers. Public service announcement.
Yeah. All juniors.
But when you look at the grand scheme of things, that's what builds champion racers.
Right.
Everybody's going to call me a homer for this one, but it's the best story that I have for a junior is Tommy's daughter, Amber. Amber came up through junior dragsters. She won a pro junior dragster championship. She raced a year in top dragster, moved into pro 632 for 3 years, won 2 championships, moved into pro nitrous this year, and she's currently leading the points. So racing in junior dragsters teaches you a championship pedigree if you take it to that level. And Amber's one of the ones that's done it. Ethan Stedding is one that's done it. That's won championships in our junior categories and have won championships in sportsman or pro classes whenever they've gotten there.
Well, the whole Franklin family is just a great family, and they're committed to racing.
They are that. I'll give them that. Whew. They race more than I want to.
Yeah, they would if they could, I'm sure.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We all joke about it all the time. It's like, man, what do you know what? Like, have you ever been to the lake?
And you're like, we got a lake?
Yeah, we got one out front here at the racetrack,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, well, we got a lake, you know what I mean? And just never leave, so I can
exactly.
You know what I mean? But
they've, and they've given me an opportunity here with both PDRA and VMP to find success, to do so in motorsports, to do it really with the right way, with the right people, to do so. And they really do it for the love of the sport.
Right.
I can be the one that can say it for them, because they're not going to go out and say it, just because that's the kind of people that they are. But they do it for the love of the sport. They all have full-time jobs. Tommy owns 2 other businesses that have nothing to do with motorsports.
Right.
But he puts his extra time and effort into trying to make a place for people to go race and enjoy it, whether that's at VMP or that's PDRA 8 times a year.
That's true. Now I tell you, I know you're a racer at heart, and you have been. You from what I remember, you've raced your entire life. But you're still racing now too when the opportunity arises.
Yep, I've got 2 bracket cars still. Got a '69 Camaro that I built kind of in memory of my dad. So that car's pretty special to me. And then I built a race tech dragster a couple years ago. So
okay.
We have kind of swapped back and forth. When it's cold outside, I'm getting the door car, so that way it's a little bit warmer. When it's hot outside, I'm getting the open car and let the breeze blow through.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say, let me work this out a little bit. But I take it your fast brackets, the top bulb on both of them, or you just do top and bottom, depending on what you got or what you feel like.
I am full blown a super pro racer.
Okay.
My dad, when I was 15, said, "Hey, look, let's start, get you some big car laps. Let's go from there and all that." And needless to say, we made 3 laps on foot brake. We were 100 red, we were 100 green, and we were 100 red. And I looked at my dad and I said, "Hey," I said, give me one lap with a delay box." I said, growing up, I'd watched him race Super Pro my entire life. So I was like, "Hey, look, man, give me 1 lap with that's all I need, just 1. If I mess it up, we'll go back to doing it your way, whatever you want to do." And we turned the delay box on. I let go of the button. I was 10 on the tree. And needless to say, I pulled back up at the trailer, and he looks at me and he goes, "Never turn that delay box off." Never.
You had one job and you nailed it.
So that was the epitome of my foot brake bottom bulb career right there. 3 laps, age of 15, and that's where we've stayed.
Okay. Hey, man must know his limitations, right?
Exactly.
You've nailed it. So
exactly.
But do you have an opportunity to actually compete at PDRA events? I'm assuming
I don't.
No, because
I don't race at PDRA.
Okay.
Just too much going on with that. Gavin has taken over a lot of the events here at Virginia. So I have gotten to race more the last couple of years than I have in a long time. This year I've traveled to a couple of TV promotions events, support them, knowing that they're coming to our place.
Right.
So it's been fun to get out, go see a bunch of my friends that I grew up with, bracket racing and stuff like that. So I enjoy it, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to go, hey, we're going to go on vacation, or we're not going to work this week. Where are we going? The racetrack.
Yeah, and your family just immediately roll their eyes, like going, I had one weekend.
Yeah, really, we can't go to the beach. Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah. Anywhere that you don't hear engines running. And it's
exactly.
Well, I always go like, tell my wife, hey, we're going on vacation. Where are we going? Concord. Why are we going to And she's like, I got to ride 6.5 hours for you to go to drag strip. I said, yeah, basically.
It's special, I'm telling you.
Well, but I kind of want to talk a little bit about the 632 class that y'all have. And you kind of go over a little bit of the rules because, there's a lot of racers that raced in that class in PDRA. Speaking of one of them, Cami Caruso, for one. She raced there at PDRA, and she went on to run Pro Stock in NHRA, and now she posts to race, I think, this weekend an IHRA in a Pro Mod.
Racing a Mountain Motor Pro Stock car.
Right.
Well,
that's right.
No, she's in Mountain Motor.
Mountain Motor, yes. Thank you. And someone says, well, I don't know if someone commented, I don't know if she can handle it. And I wrote back, I said,
she'll be fine.
She can handle it. She's drove a 632 car. She'll be perfectly fine. But tell us a little bit about that class because it's a very interesting class.
It is. Really cool class, actually. As bad as you'd say it, years ago, you would think, man, 632 is a big motor. Like, it is a big motor. But nowadays, it's kind of like, oh, it's a 632. Cool. 2/3 of my bracket cars that are in the staging lanes when you call dragsters have 632s. Like,
right.
But these things are pushed to the limit as good as you can get. Top tier parts that are a lot of R&D has been put in on these cars. They run a single 36 jet. One kit, single 36, your transmission and your gear sets and all that. That's where the class kind of becomes like a baby pro stock, in my opinion. Everybody's kind of in the same power realm. 632, single kit, 36 jet. That's it.
Right.
You can run an NA combination. We've seen those a couple of times come in and out, but most of the time it seems the 632 single kit really comes back to the forefront. Our tech director, Vinny Lodicina, Jeff Holloway, they kind of take that class. I let them have that one because it really gets down to literally 5-10 pound weight moves when we make a rule adjustment. And it really comes down to transmission, gears, how many shifts, tires. We get real. It's not an engine deal, whereas like a Pro Boost class, you can put weight on a Pro Charger if they're out in front, or you can put weight on a screw blower or take overdrive away from it or anything like that.
Right.
The class is so close that really your combinations are a 632 with a 3-speed, a 632 with a Liberty 5-speed, a 632 with a lockup. So your weight moves are based off of more gearing and transmissions than they are off of engines, single kit, dual kit, like it was kind of the class started years ago.
Right.
But the fun part of this class to me is we've seen a lot of people kind of make that their first step into heads up racing. Whether it's a junior dragster kid coming out of a junior, Chris Reeney's stepson, Carson Hoyle, just made this move. He came out of a junior last year is now in Pro 632, making very good strides as a driver and making good laps in a car that's very well proven. Lexi Tanner has done the same. You see people that have raced in other classes, been competitive with other combinations, just really good seasoned drivers that get an opportunity to sit behind the wheel of a 632 car that have been very successful. One of those being Jeff Melnick. I think he's actually leading the points right now, but Jeff has been a past champion, has a very good car, and brings a bracket racer mentality into a class where it is literally by thousandths of a second. Well, Jeff also races as a top sportsman car, so he understands the importance of leading the starting line. And, really you see drivers using skill sets that they gain in other classes to cut the Christmas tree down and really make that difference, because it can come down to a thousandth of a second any given time, any given pair that goes down the racetrack in that class. But really, I enjoy it. We see a lot of, it's weird because you look at the class, and I even say this in our meetings, is, man, the class just looks like, it doesn't look the same. Where, you look at a Pro Boost, how many times have we all said Jason Harrison, Kurt Stedding, Ty Tutterow or Todd Tutterow, Melanie Salemi? You have your names that are kind of your household names that stay in. Hey, look, this is my deal. This is where I'm racing. 632 is kind of that class where you step in, you run that for a couple of years, you move up, or you stay. Like, you can stay in that class and have a good home there. But you see a lot of teams or drivers or anything else step in, get the experience in a heads-up car, and then move on to like a Camry that goes NHRA Pro Stock, now is driving a mountain motor car. You see Amber go into Pro Nitrous. There's been rumors of some others coming out going to Pro Boost. So it's a really good class that is a feeder that we say to set the hook of in the PDRA of, hey, this is a great place to race. This is what we enjoy. We enjoy what we do. We enjoy the people we race with, but I want to go a little faster. Well, we have that option, whether that's a Extreme Pro Stock car, a Pro Street 10.5 car, or a Pro Nitrous or Pro Boost Pro Mod, like we've talked about before.
Now there's another two unique classes, and I want you to kind of explain to people if they're not familiar, but you have the Extreme Top Dragster and you have Top Dragster, and the same thing for Top Sportsman.
Yeah, so we run those as Elite Top Sportsman and Elite Top Dragster, which is the fastest of the fast and the baddest of the bad that are behind the bracket racing world. And really, those fields are decided by qualifying. You don't show up and buy a Elite Top Sportsman Tech card or a Top Sportsman Tech card. Everybody comes in as one. That's something that is very unique at PDRA that a lot of people, I don't know if they even know kind of the way that it works from the outside, but from the PDRA standpoint, you come in as a Top Sportsman racer and you pay your entry fee, whatever, and you go in and you make your qualifying runs. Well, after qualifying, the top 16 move into Elite Top Sportsman. Doesn't cost that racer any more to move into Elite. You were just one of the fastest 16 cars that qualified in the field. After that, the number 17 through the remaining cars, usually it's up to 64. Right. These days, we've had 64 car qualified fields here very often. They go into regular Top Sportsman, which is run on a 48 car field at that stage. But what's unique about that, in my opinion, that a lot don't really know or it's never really thrown out there, is the racer pays one entry fee, but the PDRA pays two purses out of that. That it doesn't cost that racer any more to race Elite. It doesn't cost that racer, hey, you paid $250 to come in the gate. Now you qualify an Elite, give me an extra bit to pay for that purse. That was something that was absolutely said no. And the PDRA kind of took that in and said that Top Sportsman, Top Dragster is going to be a home here, and they're going to have that. But the top 16 that enjoy racing at 3 seconds, 380s, 390s, but don't want to make that investment and that move into Pro Mod, this is a good home for you, and it's really taken off. You see guys like Glenn Butcher, Dan Ferguson, Buddy Perkinson won a world championship in Elite Top Sportsman, is now a Pro Nitrous car in the same car that he had. but is chasing, he's right in the top hunt now of Pro Nitrous going into Michigan next week. So really it's a unique program that a lot of people don't really, a lot of other series look at it and go, that looks like a dumpster fire. Like that's a lot of cars and that's a lot of money. And it is. And we have a lot of good marketing partners that help out with those classes. And like, I know Magna Fuel is our title sponsor in Top Sportsman, and Larice Insurance is our title sponsor in Top Dragster. And, with companies like that help out, that helps us be able to make that up, to make that work out to be able to continue that program every year, because it is expensive, but it also gives people that want to Top Sportsman race or Top Dragster race, it gives them an option to not have to run a big spot on, a 370 Top Dragster is not running a 440 Top Dragster in eliminations.
You're making two competitive fields for that class, and everyone has an opportunity to win if they're extremely fast or they're not quite as fast. I think it's a great thing.
It's a great
and one of the reasons why I wanted you to explain it, because I've had people go, why do they have
what's the difference?
Right. Exactly. What's the difference? And you just explained it. It's not two entries, two purses, but not two entries. So basically, after the first round of qualifying, let's say final qualifying, you have your quick 16, which go to elite. I think that's good because you have a very big class and you support it. Yeah. And
and the racers have built that.
Right. Of course.
That support. I will say for a while it was like, man, this is questionable. Like this has got to take off at some point. But now it's kind of a rarity when you come to a PDRA race and you don't have 64 in Top Sportsman and Top Dragster.
Right. Yes.
The racer support is absolutely wild.
We've heard that a lot about PDRA.
It is so stout, and it's a great seat to be in because they are all excellent racers. And the one thing that I always hear is, we always hear it from racers that haven't been to a race or that come to a race and then miss a couple and then come back or something like that. But I always hear how competitive it is. It doesn't matter where you qualify, because once you qualify, it's slap a dial in on it, and you better be able to drive both ends of the racetrack. Right. And I can tell you, there is not an easy win light that comes on a PDRA race.
Well, and the whole thing I like about splitting them up like that as an elite and as regular Top Sportsman is you're not shying somebody away and say, well, I can't run with those guys, so I'm not even going to try to go race there.
Correct.
Well, by that you're still drawing them in.
And I think that's
you're giving them a home to race. You give them a place.
From a promoter standpoint, if you said, "Hey, we're going to make Top Sportsman and Top Dragster 32 car fields," you would lose probably everybody below 435. If you can't run faster than 435, they're probably not coming at that point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or you force the guys that are running elite to say, "Hey, I don't want to race a 420, 430 car because I can't make a move at the finish line. I can't see that rate of speed to make a decision of, do I tap the brake pedal? Do I lift? Do I anything like that?" So you kind of alienate your guys that are on the back end and your guys that are at the elite side if you say we're just going to run one field after doing it for as long as we have. So I think that's why you see a lot of teams that are bought into the elite program because of I'm not going to say the ease of driving it. There is no easy part of it. Yeah. But your vision at the finish line is possibly less than 0.2. Going from number one qualifier to the bump spot at 16 usually is no more than 0.2 of a second, which is an easier C than a 6 or 7 tenths.
Right, but 0.2 on an eighth mile running,
it's in a hurry.
Run mid threes is in a hurry. You know, I mean that's literally a blink when you see two. I mean, like if we get some dragsters at home, they have a 4.0 and a 4.10, and I was like going, dude. I mean, you know how hard it is to see a tenth between the light, but still, I'm like going, boy, you're getting it quick. You know what I mean?
Better make a decision in a hurry.
Yeah, real quick, like at the 100-foot mark. But I mean, something else about PDRA, which I think is great, and I'm just saying this. I'm not saying this is exactly what you've done, but it's like you've made an opportunity with like Super Street and Pro Street, where that you've allowed classes or cars that were in other associations. Some of them are now defunct, but I mean, where cars were built for other associations, either people moved or changed or whatever like that, and now they can run a PDRA. For example, like 10.5, at which I was, when I brought up the original 10.5 is what I loved. Yep. Okay, I absolutely loved when it was at Memphis and all that kind of stuff like that, which I know that's a good feeling for you too. Exactly. And I absolutely love that. And then of course, like anything, it got carried away.
It did.
I mean, just totally off the rails. So I think that's really good. And not only that y'all offer even bracket bash. Y'all offer even bracket racing at PDRA. And that's something I think Virginia Motorsports Park is really, really known for. Okay, not only putting on excellent races, but a serious bracket program with a lot of different bracket races. You said Tyler's coming in with his promotion and others. But tell everybody, because Gary, we had a question asking about bracket racing. So tell us a little more about that.
So I will say so when I grew up, Memphis area and all that, we would go to a points race or something like that. You'd see 50, 60 cars in Super Pro, however many in foot brake. You would kind of end up the day with 120 total entries on the grounds. Right. It's kind of a good weekend at home. That's a good crowd for a smaller racetrack, and that's where I kind of grew up. Come here on the East Coast, there is an abundance of race cars.
Yeah.
The first time that I was kind of running a points race here, we would call our junior dragsters to the lanes, and like I immediately was like, hey, call juniors, and then go in and put foot brake in 3 and 4 or whatever lanes we went to. And the woman that runs the computer here at Virginia, her name's Felita. She's been here since the dirt moved. For the first time, she's been here for forever. But she looked at me and she goes, sweetheart, you might want to just see how many cars you have before you make that call. I'm like, I can't be that many. 65 juniors made round 1 that day. And it was like, oh my gosh. But it just shows how strong the program is here. And now, we've really worked hard on our monthly series of building a program that racers can come to that is very racer friendly. Now, I will say, financially and for a business standpoint, wrong guy, not it. Because I make way too many racer calls, and my boss is sitting at home right now. If he's watching this, going, "Yes, this is correct. You are the problem." But I look at things, and I'm the world's worst at saying it. But you go, make something that looks appealing to you, because if you are going to be a racer, you're going to find and you're going to pick and choose where you're going to race points or where you're going to call your home track for the year. It needs to be appealing for you. Well. Right. We average on our points races, we average over 300 entries on Saturday and Sunday. That's one-time trial, go racing. We're done by an 11 o'clock curfew. And then Sunday, new entry time run, go right to it with round 1 after that. But our bracket program is really strong here. And again, that comes down to the racers that race here, that build the atmosphere. Right. I have people that will come in and they'll go, man, like it's competitive. Don't get me wrong, but it is everybody having a great time. Like there's not a Saturday night that goes by that there's not 4 or 5 little parties going on in the pits, and nothing rambunctious, nothing crazy, but everybody just having a good time. And really that's at the end of it from a PDRA, a VMP, any racetrack, any series, we always have had this mindset, Tommy and myself, of if you really think about it, racing is everybody's escape from the real world. Yes, for us, it's a job. It's our job. It's our livelihood. That's how we pay the bills for us. For a racer that pulls in the parking lot, this is their escape from the real world. This is, they went to work Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. And at 5 o'clock, they walked out the door and said, I'm going to load the trailer and I'm going to go racing. And if you take the fun away from that person, why are they going to come back? It's kind of like going to Six Flags. If Six Flags or King's Dominion or whatever, if it's not fun anymore, you're not going back. Right. So we've always had this mindset in the back of our mind of not only build a good program that can hopefully financially help racers, that if you go enough rounds, you get your entry fee back. If all of the way that falls. But in the same breath of, even if you don't turn on a win light in the weekend, you can leave here going, man, I had a good time. I had fun, and I'll be back next time. I might have got my teeth kicked in, and we
Yeah.
might have to make some changes. But, but I'm looking forward to coming back. And that's really the mindset we've had. We try to instill that with all of our employees, all of our team members, everybody that comes in the door. We try to make you feel at home, whether that's through the food and beverage network, through during hot races, we'll open up our public suites and just say, hey, look, the AC's on, there's water in the freezer, get it. Like, if get out of the heat, come watch racing in one of the suites, just don't trash it.
Right,
but,
of course.
But it's the little things like that I feel like take things to another level. And keeps people happy, keeps people coming back. And it may be right, wrong, or indifferent. It may just make me feel good and make me lay my head down at night and say, you did something nice for somebody today. You can go to bed. But
but you answered that. That's exactly right. You're treating people how you want to be treated. You're treating people exactly how you want to be treated. And racers always remember that, including sponsors. Sponsors always remember that because that's their customers. And their customers want to keep coming back. There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
And
So,
we talk all the time how on-track product is one thing, but there's only one winner. This is the greatest sport in the world to teach you how to lose. But it's at the end of the day, there's only one winner. Now you may pick up a couple of win lights through the day, but there's only one overall winner at the end of the day. Right. And the more you can keep people happy through the depths of the entire weekend, and the most amount of people leave happy, you did your job at the end of the day. And that's the mindset we try to have here at Virginia and at PDRA.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, that guy sitting next to you named Robert, he's kicked my teeth in a couple of times.
Don't
let him be on the podcast.
Yeah, I know. But he can mute my mic anytime, but we won't talk about that. Sometimes
we're not going to talk about people that hold control, okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Your boss and Mrs. Balls is watching you, so it's like, just keep that little thumb on you.
I got to say, if I fall off, just know that the internet at the new office just mysteriously stopped working.
Oh yeah. He's over holding a cord, going, "Gotcha."
Exactly.
But you explained a whole lot. Go ahead, Mitchell. Go ahead.
Just real quick, I kind of want you to explain the point system PDRA for those who don't know how points are awarded for round wins.
Yep. So on a PDRA weekend, you get 25 points for making a qualifying attempt. If you are on the qualifying sheet, you get 25 points. After that, if you are in a pro category or sportsman category, if you're qualified in the top 16, you gain 1 point from that standpoint. So number one qualifier gets 41 points, 40 carries down from there. The least amount of points you can get for qualifying is 25. So if you show up D and Q at a race, you still get 25 points.
Okay. Carries
from there. Each round win is worth 100 points. So every time the win light comes on, it's 100 points.
Gotcha. Okay, so you got to take the tree to get you 25 points.
Yep.
Okay.
So you have to make a qualifying attempt and be on the qualifying sheet to get show up points.
Okay, which would mean obviously going across the scales, or a fuel check if it's required, that kind of thing like that.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, we understand that, but I'm just clarifying for anybody that hears this, just to make sure it's not, like you said, it's not buying a ticket.
Don't buy a tech card.
Yeah, that does not fly. You know what I mean?
And let's be honest, at this part in the year, everybody's like, man, I'm hurt. I can't make it to a race. Can I just buy a tech card? No, that's not it.
Right.
But it's always that. It's, hey, I don't want to lose these points. How can I, I still want to, if I even have to show up to the race, like, how do I still get my show up points?
Right.
But that is the definition of it. Yes.
I mean, we've seen people with, like you said, show up with a car that won't even qualify for the class, not even remotely qualify for the class, but they take the tree first run, and that's it. That's their only intention. So, like you said, us racers at heart, competitive. So you want to do that.
And how many times have we all seen a championship decided by 1 or 2 rounds,
yes,
1 or 2 points or anything like that? And the show up points matter at the end of the year when it's all added up. So I definitely understand it from a racer standpoint, but that's why we have to make those rules that are, this is the qualifications to your show up points. This is your qualifications to, if you're an alternate, you don't get any points because you didn't qualify in the field, but you got a chance to race for prize money. But if you're an alternate that comes into a field, you don't gain any points. You stay at your 25.
And just one thing I want I want to clarify on y'all's bracket bash.
Mhm.
Isn't the payout 3,000?
2,000.
2,000. Okay.
Yep.
Which is still a pretty good amount of money when you look at other track programs. You may be lucky that you get $1,000.
Mhm.
So I think that's a great opportunity for those who want to bracket race. And y'all have a cap, don't y'all have a certain amount
Yes.
of time that people have to get entered?
Yeah,
we part ahead of time to be able to race.
Yeah, so we limit bracket bash to 48 cars. The reason why we do that is the non-qualifiers in Top Sportsman and Top Dragster. So, for instance, if we have 70 cars come in Top Dragster, the 6 cars that didn't qualify in the regular field, they automatically fall to bracket bash.
Okay.
So even if you didn't qualify in Top Sportsman, Top Dragster, you fall into bracket bash, you still have a chance to race because you made the pool there. That's why we limited bracket bash, was because at one point we were having 90 and 100 cars in bracket bash because we would have, we would come to a Virginia that has a very strong car count for a points race, or a Galat or a Maryland that has strong programs, and we would end up with a abundance of bracket cars. And your pro nitrous and your pro boost guys were like, "Hey, I thought we were kind of the show here, but we've got 200 sportsman cars that we're kind of trying to run first."
And you're over going, I know.
And there's just not enough time in the day. So, and it's hard, trust me. Like, we just opened yesterday. We had pre-entry open for the Bristol event, and it literally sold out in 15 minutes. And I was sitting at my desk and I said, this is not going to be a fun afternoon, because we went from entries are open to within 15 minutes, entries were sold out for the Bristol event. And my phone started ringing. Hey, I missed it. Can you get me an entry? And I'm like, I'll put you on an alternate list. That's all I can do. So it's great when it happens, because that means that there's a desire to come race PDRA. But at the same time, it's so hard to be like, I'm sorry.
I know. It's like, I know I grew up with you and everything like that. I know we were in high school together, but no, I can't not do that. So
exactly.
Mitchell and I both have jobs that under certain circumstances, we get those calls too. And I mean, not racing, but other things through work. And it's like, I cannot do that. But here's a question for you. And I mean, I know some people were asking me before we come on. This is, explain the difference between on a PDRA, for example, Pro Nitrous, Pro Boost, Top Sportsman, Top Dragster, from what y'all do versus NHRA, IHRA. And so as far as classification, as far as what do you change on the cars? Obviously, we know PDRA is 8th mile.
Yes.
Okay, we understand that. But as far as like the cars themselves, are y'all pretty much mirroring the rules, or are they just really close?
Top Sportsman, Top Dragster, they are pretty much the same. You could take a Top Dragster that races with us. You could go to NHRA, you could go to IHRA, you could race with us, you could race local series.
Anywhere.
Could go race for big money. Like, you could do whatever you want with that program. Same with Top Sportsman. There may be some changes for guys that are pushing the 610 number.
Right.
On the NHRA side on the quarter mile. So those guys may have to change and pull timing out of them or something like that to be able to stay within that number. But as far as like hard parts on a race car, there is not much of a change from Top Sportsman to Top Dragster and all 3 of the mentioned series. Pro Nitrous, kind of about the same. The rules are pretty much the same. Weights being different on our side compared to an NHRA. NHRA is a lot heavier, running quarter mile, and they are also combined into one category with Pro Mod being all the power adders in one, running quarter mile. IHRA still has them separated right now with the new series, running Pro Nitrous and Pro Boost, or Pro Mod as they have it called. I think they're pretty well close to the same rules as us as far as that goes. But really on that side, the car changes are not a lot. There may be a blower change from NHRA to PDRA. There may be a tire change, a ratio change for quarter mile versus 8th mile.
Right.
But outside of that, there's not a lot of hard parts that you're changing.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, you're not, and I'm exaggerating when I say this. You're not a power glide only class.
Correct.
You know what I mean? 2,400 pounds across the board for this and that. You know what I mean? You can only run this. You can only run that. But it's fairly close to NHRA. Obviously, ratio changes in some chassis setups. Depending on what you run. But overall, the rules mirror. So what I was getting at is somebody can bring from another association and look at your rules, and they can make some slight changes and have an opportunity to race to qualify at one of your events.
Yeah, and that's kind of the goal for all series is to build rule books across the board where you can have that interchange. We all know that there's 52 weeks in the year, and the scheduling part is the hardest part of our sport at times.
Boy, I tell you, I don't know how you guys do it. I really, really don't.
a lot of talking, but amongst a lot of the execs. We do a lot of back and forth on that side, but really the biggest thing is trying to keep our schedules to where you can make those choices. If you want to chase multiple series, there are people that will go out and chase multiple championships. Maybe they start in a divisional, and if they go forward and points look good in both, we don't have a schedule conflict. We're going to try to chase both. So we see that a lot. Especially in Top Dragster. Top Dragster, you see a lot of overlap. Top Sportsman, not as much, but still some. But a lot on the Pro Mod side will stay pretty dedicated to whatever series they're running through the year. And then usually, like a lot of our teams support the Drag Illustrated Winter Series. Very close to the same rules. So a lot of our cars go down there. You don't see a lot of NHRA cars very out of NHRA. At least with those cars, you see the drivers get into a different car or something like that. But those NHRA combinations being quarter mile are pretty well honed in and focused on that because of the way that how intricate and how different quarter mile is to the 8th mile world. So you don't see a lot of crossover on those cars. The nitrous cars, you can see Ricky will cross over every now and then. Billy Banaka's done some, but a lot of those guys get in a different car that they own. Or lease or whatever to run those races down on the 8th mile in the winter.
And I tell you, you mentioned a winter series that is coming up. West Buck, they released this week that if you sweep all 3 events, you get some heavy cash. And
see what I texted Wes when he did it, and I said, "Man, you really need to edit your press release." And he's like, he goes, "Did I misspell something? What are you talking about?" I said, "All it says is you've got to sweep the 3 races." I said, "Bro, I'm bringing a broom. You better pay up." I said, "You didn't say you had to win races. You had to sweep at all 3 races." "Well, that's fine. I'll work the water box. Come on with it."
Edit. You have to win all 3 times.
Yeah. And I think Richard Freeman came in on that deal as well. Elite Motorsports and.
It's a really cool deal because, think about it from a way of how many times have we talked about people sweeping the Western Swing on the NHRA Tour? You see the Triple Crown and other ways of racing and sports and everything in different. If somebody can pull off that feat, it deserves a reward, and what a hell of a reward it would be if somebody were to pull it off. So,
well, the IRS man's coming after you, buddy. That is for sure.
Hey, man, that was all movie money. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in a briefcase, it looked good.
Yeah, especially what Duck does. How Duck presents is –
that's cool.
Oh, my goodness. The clear briefcase. The first time I ever saw the clear briefcase, I was like going, that is a showman right there.
The
jacket. Oh, yeah. The jacket should have told you everything. But, yeah, that's impressive too. But tell us about your marketing partners, because you have a lot of them between PDRA and also Virginia Motorsports Park.
I will say we probably have one of the deepest and best decks of companies that we partner with. One of them being Redline Oil, who's also a partner with you guys. Mark and his team are just A1 top notch.
Yes, they are.
Just great people all around. But I'm not even going to try to start naming them.
Okay.
Because I know I will derail it and I will forget somebody. But we couldn't do what we do without them, 100%.
Right.
Our decks are getting larger every day. Will Smith, our marketing director on the PDRA side, sent me a message today of a new partner that's coming in for the Bristol event that we'll announce next week for a power purse. And just everybody that comes on board for this stuff is so just interested. They love the sport and they have the same mindsets, whether it's Virginia Motorsports Park or it's PDRA. It takes a village to do this. Not only the people on the ground, not only the racers in the pits or the fans in the stands. It takes the companies investing their hard-earned dollars back into the series and the events and the racetracks and the facilities and all that to keep the ball rolling and to make it to where we have great events and facilities for the racers to come out and use up tires and use up racing fuel and use up parts and all that to keep the companies in business. So it's really a huge circle of, which way is the dollar going today? But
Exactly.
But it takes everybody working in one direction to make it happen. And I can say over the last I think this is my 8th year here, but over the years of growing, not only the facilities and the series, we've also grown a lot of relationships through partnerships. And I've always kind of said that, I don't view I don't view it as a sponsorship. I view it as a partnership because our job in that case is, we should advertise and use Redline Oil because they're the title sponsor of PDRA, but we should do our job to promote their product to where our racers go buy their product and bring ROI back to a company. Because if we can do that, it makes a yearly return or a yearly renewal conversation extremely easy. And making that to where it's just an easy, I've said the quicker you can do your renewal program, the quicker you can bring in new companies that you're having to really sell or explain what we do, whether it's the series or the racetrack, because your renewal program goes fast if you've done it all the right way and you perform through the year.
Right.
And not only they're a great marketing partner, their products are excellent. I mean,
they've done great in mine, just saying.
My car's got 217,000 miles on it and still clicking away, and that's the car I'd take to drag strip and race.
Yep.
And he beats me with it.
Doesn't matter.
Sometimes.
Yeah. We're about 50-50 draw on that, but we're still working on that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Working with your marketing partners. Not only to use their products, but you help promote it to the point, when I say to the point that people see what you're using and they see that you're actually using it and you stand by it, is you're right, Gary. Everybody is promoting products online. And but also to promote them online, you need to believe in them, which means you have to try them and use them yourself. And that's a big thing with Mitchell and I. Between Scorpion Race Products and Redline Oils, we use their products, and so we stand by them and believe in them.
It's easy to sell a product that you believe in.
Exactly. It's the truth.
It is. But, you're not sugarcoating it.
Exactly. You're not sugarcoating it. But tell you, where can everybody find PDRA on social media? What's the best way to follow them? Please let us know.
All of our social channels for PDRA are PDRA Racing. PDRA Racing is kind of our social channel. If you'll find us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, PDRA660.com is our website. That's where anything and everything you can find, whether it's rule books, payouts, championship payout, pro star standings, schedule, anything in between. And all of our contact information is on the PDRA website as well. For Virginia Motorsports Park, that one's even easier. It's racevmp.com, and then all of our social channels are racevmp. So we are moving and grooving on a lot of different social media channels and all of that, but it takes getting into those audiences and a lot of people kind of have their favorite that they go off of, but it takes hitting all of them. It seems like Facebook is the strongest one for motorsports right now, but at the same time, Instagram is very strong for the younger crowd as far as getting people invested into seeing cars on the racetrack, whether it's a mud bog truck or a pro mod or a bracket car. We cover all that. And then it seems the old Twitter, which is now X, seems to be very strong for marketing partners and kind of the corporate world on that side. So it kind of hits all of it. We work hard on trying to get all of our stuff as promoted as best we can, whether it's through television, radio, billboards, social media, whatever it may be. We work extremely hard to try and get the word out when not only we're in the area for PDRA race, but also here at Virginia for weekly events and monthly events.
Yeah, I know that I try to do my best to look after an event is completed, go through y'all's sheets. Y'all put out the sheets of who won, and I will take that information and we'll put it on our page of who won each of the classes all the way down to the junior dragsters.
Yeah,
because I think it's just as important to mention them and the bracket bash winners as well as those that's running the Pro Nitrous and Pro Boost.
It is, and that's one thing that we try to highlight everybody. And of course, you can't highlight everybody. There's only so much time in the day, and we all know how Facebook algorithms work. If you post too much, they just don't show your stuff. So there's the way that all these algorithms work. You're kind of limited through on how much you can post a day. And that's hard for a lot of people to understand at times, especially when you're doing live updates and stuff like that from an event. You want to promote everybody. You want to promote every run that goes down the racetrack and every upset or every hole shot win. You want to make a post about that, but you can't because you have to kind of combine them into certain things or make them schedule out into different time slots, or you'll lose all your followers and all your kind of momentum in a news feed because of posting too much. And a lot of people don't understand that when it comes to the social side.
Yeah, we're experiencing some of that in some
We've
situations.
all done it.
I mean, we are. We're like going, there's some stuff we're like going, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, we still can't figure it out. So any little tidbits or nuggets of info you wish to share on the side with us, we'll listen to you for sure. So absolutely. But I mean,
we're all just throwing darts, bro. It doesn't matter.
Well, I tell you what, some got a little better aim than others, but yeah, you're right. I know it's the trial and error, but I tell you what, you've got your hands full with so much, okay, between, and I'm talking past and present, operational, manager, track prep, race director, you know what I mean? And everything, racer, promoter, and everything in between. I would ask you, what's your favorite thing? And I'm not going to ask you what's your least favorite thing. So what's your favorite thing?
Favorite thing, probably on a personal side, probably like a crew chief role. I enjoy racing. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy putting a helmet on. I really enjoy the tuning aspect, making the cars work better, trying, with my bracket stuff now, trying to make the same lap over and over and over, no matter what the conditions are. I enjoy that challenge. When I raced Ultra Street with Daniel Ferris and Josh Ledford and Mark Menzer, I really got into the tuning side of, individual fuel cylinders through Fuel Tech and all of that type stuff that Josh taught me. And now Jeff Pierce has continued to help me on my dragster now, that I've learned a lot from those guys. And I enjoy that because it's a challenge. I've completely learned that you cannot let go 00 every time, no matter what you do. So then the racing side, I'll just let somebody else do that.
Even after your first run with a top wall, even after that?
Yeah. We're
Okay.
But I enjoy the crew chief side. I enjoy that. To me, that's kind of my escape. A lot of people say my escape is putting a helmet on and going to race. I'm the one that will be rolling in the water box going, hey, we didn't paint that spot on the wall down there. That looks weird. Or I just can't turn it off. So So I enjoy, the graphs and timing maps and fuel curves. And I thoroughly enjoy that side of it. From the actual working through the event side, I'll say from being through the track prep side for so many years, I guess I'm kind of numb to the numbers, as weird as that sounds. But you kind of get complacent of, hey, there's another 360 Pro Mod, or there's a really fast radio car, or whatever it may be. So you kind of just get complacent in that term. Not because not any of it's any different or any more impressive, But at the same time, it's just when you've seen it and you've been there, it's kind of all right, that's not really a challenge anymore.
Right.
The last couple of years, Tommy's kind of moved me into more of a business role. And I've really enjoyed that to a point of learning how different parts of the business work, needing, move this around to make this work because of a week off or because of a rain out or whatever it may be. So really, I think I enjoy that now. If this was 5 years ago, I would say, give me my tractor, my sprayer, my earbuds, and leave me alone. That is my therapy. I enjoy that. I will say I still enjoy it every now and then. I've gotten back to, I enjoy doing it when I do say, hey guys, let me come out there and help you for a little bit. I'd gotten to a point where I didn't want to do it. And it was just, it kind of burned me out in that part. So I was very accepting of a change, and welcomed it wholeheartedly. And I can say it's probably helped in the long term as not wanting to make a change, because you just get burned out. And when you're burned out, you're not as happy. So now I've gotten to be more involved in the social media marketing side, the marketing, the business side, all that. So taking a different role, having people like Gavin involved. Gavin's been with me since he was 16 in Memphis when we worked together there. And then we've kind of grown together and traveled together. And now he lives in Virginia with us and all that. But having him on board has been a huge help. I have a great team here at the racetrack, whether it's Crystal on our business side, anything like that. We have a top tier team that not only is pretty in depth here at the racetrack that keeps this place moving. Gavin, Crystal, and myself also travel together through PDRA. So a lot of we have to like each other because there is no weekend away from each other.
Right.
But at the same time, everybody has their strengths. Everybody has their weaknesses. But at the same time, the way that we've been able to kind of build this team over the last couple of years, there's not many weaknesses anymore. And I'm very proud of that.
Well, y'all are great. Y'all have great chemistry, and where one might not be so well at one thing, another one of y'all step in, and it's teamwork.
It is. And at the end of the day, you're all always said, and I played basketball in high school, and this was probably one of my coach's favorite sayings, but it was the best saying ever, was we had our name on the front of the jersey, and there was no name on the back. There was a number, because you don't play for the name on the back, you play for the name on the front. And really, you kind of take that into business and into kind of the way we run our events. You play for VMP or you play for PDRA. You're all on the same team. And if we all go that same direction, we all pick each other up when we're having a bad day, or we all give a high five and raise a glass at the end of it to celebrate a good one. And that's the way it should be.
That makes sense. That's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it.
Well, Gavin, Jesus, I was calling you Gavin. Which I know Gavin.
Hey, Gavin's in the gym right now, man. Like, he worked out this morning. He's going to work out again tonight. Now, I'm telling you, he'll come in here and bench press me tomorrow. But
Tyler, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And he must have been talking about us. He had to be. But I want to thank you for joining us tonight, and us taking a little dive into the PDRA and getting some things out there on some rules and how points are earned and how people can follow PDRA. There's only one thing we didn't mention, and we can cover real fast if you don't mind: memberships.
Yep. So we don't have a membership.
There you go.
The only thing that we require is a competition license, whether that's an NHRA license. If you just race with PDRA, we offer a competition license as well that you can go through that program. If your home track's a WDRA track or an IHRA track, we accept that for one race whenever we're at an IHRA or WDRA facility. If you choose to come back and race with us more, we work through that process of doing a renewal or a crossover to a PDRA or an NHRA license.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, Tyler, I want to ask you before we go, down there on the chat, you'll see on the bottom of the page, if you wouldn't mind, text me your cell number.
Yep.
It's like to ask you a question when we're done, but I'm not asking you to post that.
The worst part is it's all over the internet if you know where to look for it. So it's like you can't forget it.
but I still wasn't going to do that to you. But if you
It's
don't
all
mind,
good.
if you could just perfect. All right, I received it, so that's appreciated.
Yep.
But Tyler, once again, thank you for taking the time out of your crazy busy schedule to come here and talking about Virginia Motorsports Park and also the Redline Series of professional PDRA Redline Series. Thank you so much for coming on here and talking to us tonight. And I tell you, man, you've got you. I think you're packed for the next 5 weeks. I think you said
we are wadded up for.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll let you know at PRI whenever that's about when it calms down.
Oh yeah, we'll look you up there. You'll probably be the one in the corner asleep.
Oh man, that'll probably be Sunday on the drive home. Hopefully.
Oh wow. Yeah, but I mean,
we'll be at PRI, and
I tell you what, if y'all don't have no problem with it, we'll set up and we'll record the handing out of the awards and everything, and we'll upload it to our page.
Yeah, we have our PDRA awards banquet Friday night at the Indianapolis Marriott, and Flow Racing always kind of comes in, and I think they actually live stream the deal too.
Yeah, they do. They do an excellent job.
Yeah, no, they don't because I have to MC it. So I'm hoping that it blacks out this year and nobody has to live through that pain. Just the packed house.
You'll be at the mic going, yeah,
just the packed house of people. So, but it's actually a really good time, and and I'll say this, we all walk around the PRI show and we all do that. If anybody has any questions, I may not be at the booth at all times, but we always have a staff member that's on schedule to be at the booth. If I remember right, if we're in the same area, we'll be kind of in the 300 aisle. If we're in the same area this year as we were last year. Okay. So y'all swing by, look us up. If there's anything that we can ever do for you all, let us know. And if there's any questions or anything that's anybody's watching that's, hey man, I'd like to know more about PDRA, man, reach out. That's what we're here for. We try to make it as a really easygoing experience to come to an event. I know there's others that are, you got to do this or check this box or check that box. And we try to alleviate that, try to make it an easy process for everybody to come out an event, whether it's a spectator or it's a racer. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. My contact information is on the website. Shoot me an email at any time, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And if we don't see you at an event, we'll see you at the PRI show in December.
Absolutely.
All right.
Sounds good, Tyler. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Have a good night. Take care.
I'll tell you what, we're going to take a little commercial break, and we'll be right back, and me and Robert will close down the show.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
Well, I tell you, Robert, I had a great time talking to Tyler and actually learning a whole lot of things that I didn't know about the PDRA series.
Oh, boy, that is an understatement. I can speak for myself. I know you too, Mitchell. That's a lot of information, a lot of really, really good information about the PDRA and also Virginia Motorsports Park. They have their hands full. They're doing so many races, which is great. That's great for the racers. It's great for the fans. Now, Virginia Motorsports Park, like you said, they have a mud bog out there. They got other activities going on at the track. Then they got a campground also. So there's something for everybody. And the way that I really like the way that he talked about PDRA promotes starting at the junior dragster class all the way up, including everything in between from bracket bash all the way up to pro boost and pro nitrous and everything in between. That's really great. So they're recognizing everybody and giving everybody a platform to race. What more can you ask for?
Yeah. And I really appreciated him, breaking down the differences with the top dragster and top sportsman classes, because I've been asked that before, and I'm like, I don't really know how it all works. I think I do, but I really thank him for explaining that to everyone.
Right. I completely agree with you. He explained it very well, very simply, on how it's run, how it's done, and why. And it's really good. I mean, the fact, just like he said, they explain on how the licensing process goes, the membership goes. Very, very simplistic, and it's
no membership.
Very simplistic, and that's very racer friendly. So that's good. And the fact that they've separated up the pro nitrous from the pro boost, okay, which I think is a really good thing, because that gives an opportunity for other marketing partners to come in and to really push their product to shine in the same arena. Okay, so nitrous versus nitrous, and then blower versus turbo, but still a boost situation. So
who wouldn't want to go watch a car like that run?
Yeah, I know it. I mean, let's face it, that's cool. And there you go.
See some wheel up action.
Yep, I think that's the 10.5s right there, I believe. But I mean, that's just an example. So it was greatly appreciated. Boy, that man wears a lot of hats. I did not realize all the other tracks that he's worked on for how long. And I mean, he's a young man. He's put in a lot of time, a lot of effort. So, man, we got to put that on our bucket list to go to Virginia.
Yeah, we definitely do. Definitely do. And it's nice. Well, all the facilities that they go to are very nice facilities that they race at.
Right. But and definitely to go to see the PDRA sponsored by Redline. We definitely need to go. There are so many places we want to go. We do not have enough PTOs or enough in the bank to take care of all our airline tickets and rentals or whatever just to go to these events. But we're working on it and trying.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about, we could probably save a little bit of money and during the winter months, but then we got to fly to Indy, and then shortly after that, Gainesville starts their bracket racing program up, and we'll be out there doing that, and also live streaming it from the tower and everything. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, to have such problems. Yeah, to have such problems, to live in an area in a state where literally they run 12 months out of the year. Somewhere they're racing 12 months out of the year. Last year, I had a friend of mine reach out from Maryland. They were coming down south here to buy a car. And they said, "Hey, man, what tracks are open?" And I was like going, "When are you coming?" They told me, I said, "You could pick any 4." You know what I mean? Because everything was open. Orlando, Bradenton, Gainesville, and South Georgia. And yeah, Derek, you're absolutely right. And you could definitely tell with him being a racer, having that mindset of really, really wanting to help the racers and the track crews and just everything. And like you said, it's really good. He's stepping into the business side of it. The Franklins are really allowing him to really work that, and he's really absorbing it. So he's being able to bring the best of both worlds together. So that's
it's racers for racers for a fact. I mean, you look at who's all involved with PDRA. You got the Franklins; they're involved in it, and of course Tyler and several others, and that they are racers. And I think that's why that organization is so great.
Agreed.
They get what the racers want, and they try to deliver it the best way they can.
Exactly. They're giving racers what they want, giving them a platform, a good purse, you know what I mean, and good, fair racing. Can't ask for anything more. And the fact that, they're doing it 8th mile too. So, they got to get it done. You know what I mean? So everything's important on the starting line to the tune-up to the finish line because it's so tight. And I like the fact that they did the Elite Series for the top sportsmen and top dragsters. I think that's great to have a quick 16 out of it, pay a separate purse for that, then have the other qualifying. And then if you cannot make the qualifying, meaning if you don't qualify quick enough, that you automatically fall into the bracket bash. So you're racing. You are literally racing. I mean, you're not just sitting around, heading home. So
Right.
that's really good. And they have a lot of marketing partners that they're working with, which is really great.
Well, I tell you what, our next show will be next Thursday. We have
Norm Williams.
Norman Williams, that's right.
Yep.
If you've ever raced out at Jack's Raceway in Gainesville Raceway, you know Norm, wonderful guy, a lot of great history, and we're going to talk about that history here on the podcast. Can't wait for that one. And of course, we need to get Derek Putnam back on with him, commenting. We need to get him back on and talk a little bit about Sick to Mag and some of the Sick events that are coming up. I know they just made an announcement for, I think that was Sick Summer for 2026. So
I think that's what that was. It came across my phone too. I gotta read it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Derek is so busy.
I tell you, I love the whole concept and how it's really catching fire of all these people who wanting to get in and participate. And you have to be really quick because Derek, I tell you, it'll sell out in a minute, all the spots. They're going like that, and you have to go on a waiting list and hope and pray for, unfortunately, someone else's misfortunes for you to be able to get in to participate. Right. But just a total great thing. I love Sick Week. It is so neat to just drive down the road trying to find a place to park so you can stand out by the road and watch the cars come by. And I stopped in a little town that's not far from here, Melrose. Derek knows where it's at, and it's just a little tiny town with one red light. And you should have seen the people standing on the side of the road, just watching the cars come through. I mean, it's just amazing, both for the racers and for the spectators. Mm-hmm. And, I talked to a man and his daughter, and they were so excited about being there and going the next day to Gainesville and watch these cars perform. Oh yeah. Derek's got us hooked up right there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. 6 summer days for 26 is June 15th through the 20th, 2026. So everybody start making your plans now. And Derek, I'm trying to talk Mitchell into at least let us do Sick Ward next year, because I think Sick Ward, as long as the schedule allows, and mine too for that matter, okay, that we get in and do that, because I've done that once before, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I mean, we've all been to these tracks and raced these tracks, but still, it's a great atmosphere. And we encourage everybody, even if you cannot compete as far as a racer, to go get your family, your friends, everything together, and go to either an event or do the Sick Ward, do the whole cruise. It's not a cruise, but do the whole event. You drive the same route as all the drivers, same checkpoints and everything if you so wish, but you're just not competing on the track. You get prime parking. You know what I mean? And you get some bennies here, seriously, by being involved with it. You get a meal out of it and stuff like that. But the thing about it is you're part of it. And that's what really, really makes it great. It makes it a great time and a great events. And the thing about it is you go to all the tracks, all of them, not just one. You go to all of them when you sign up for Sick Ward at minimum.
Well, I'll tell you what, Robert, if I can get in, I'm going to get in, and I'm going to throw them drag radios on the back of that Charger. And
hey, if
I get me a new set of drag radios, I can make the whole trip on that and make all the passes.
Hey, if you're going to do Sick Week, I'll do shotgun. If you're going to do Sick Week, I'll do shotgun. But I mean, Derek's right, because I've tried to sign it up for it before. You've got to be on it, and when I mean on it, I mean have all your stuff sitting there ready to go. When they go bang, and it's instant. If you don't get it, instant refresh and start filling out, and no delay, no hunting your stuff. Because I tried it, and it was filled in under 10 minutes. I went down there and I was filling the page out. When I got to the bottom, hit send, boom, nothing, and I'm like, oh, so. And I missed it the first time.
And the great thing about it is the love for drag racing Everyone's having a great time. It doesn't matter if you got a car that's running in the sixes or you got a car that's running 17 seconds. You know,
Right.
it's fun for everybody, and I just love the platform that they have, and I would love to do it. I would love
You're
to jump in it with the Charger and have a
you're
fun weekend.
you're creating a memory. Yes, when you start putting pen to pad, it does cost money to do it. Take time off work, hotels, and that
There's
kind of
that
thing like
PTO
that.
stuff again.
There's that PTO stuff, and I'm talking about just a sick ward. Okay, and a sick week has a totally different animal to it. Okay, meaning the gas bill and any parts you might need and anything like that. And all that stuff does add up. But let's face it, you are creating an experience, a once in a lifetime experience. And you really can't put a price on it. People try to, but the memories that you create from the experience that you have, I mean, you're never going to get it again. So I look at that as that's priceless. Okay, especially if you can do it with family, friends, stuff like that. I mean, it's a great time. You can't replace it. So, and like I said, you will enjoy it, and you really will want to come back. And if you can't come back to Sick Week, you'll start looking into like Sick Smoky, Sick Summer, or other events by not only by Sick the Mag, but also Hot Rod Magazine, Midwest Drags, Rocky Mountain, etc. Other events like that. That makes it really, really cool.
Yeah, and I want to thank Derek for all his hard work, not just with the publication, but the things that he does on the microphone. And he might laugh at me about this, but the man is a walking encyclopedia.
Oh,
I'm
yes. He is.
If you got two cars up there and they're a year apart and they're running down, and Derek will tell you the differences between both of those cars down to the screw that's holding something on the vehicle, the molding. But I mean, he does such a great job of explaining all of that. And and another thing that I've learned from him is he's also a very good note taker, and he prepares himself way ahead of time before he does announcing. And
Yes.
it was really great. A couple of weeks ago, it was up there at South Georgia for the divisional, and also for them to finish up Bristol, and just wonderful. The announcing was just wonderful to the T. I mean, you didn't have to say, well, hadn't this guy won one time, or isn't he a national champion or a world champion? You don't have to worry about that when Derek's on the mic, because he's filling all the gaps.
He's very professional. He keeps people engaged, keep them entertained, and definitely keep them informed. And that's I can't say a rare skill, and it is a rare skill in a way. But he enjoys what he does, and he's really good. And he's worked hard at it. And we wish Derek nothing but the best in that adventure, because I mean, he's doing great. We consider him the best, homegrown.
Well, we're going to let everybody go, but Robert, again, thank you tonight for joining us and being my co-host. I appreciate all your hard work that you do behind the scenes, and also trying to get some of our guests lined up to come on. And shoot, we're already starting to book into September, which is really great. And we're almost where we were last year as far as episodes. So
yeah, we thank everybody. We thank everybody out there for that, because your encouragement is why we do this. We enjoy what we do. We enjoy bringing you interesting people and subjects to learn something new, just like us, learn something new. But we want to thank Redline Oil for being our partners at On the Spot Motorsports Media, and also to Scorpion Racing Products. We encourage everybody out there to go and try their products, because they have something for you. And like I said, also support your local tracks, whatever it might be. Drag strip, dirt track, roundy round, mud bog, doesn't matter. Support your local track. And whether you're involved as a racer or as a fan or as a crew or spectator, just we encourage you to do that. But also to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. This interview is going over to YouTube here, and it'll be uploaded here really quickly. And I'll have it uploaded on Spotify in another couple days. As my work schedule, like Mitchell, as my work schedule allows, because we're both just crazy working schedules, but we really enjoy what we do. But we're asking everybody, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, to go over there right now, On the Spot Motorsports Media, and subscribe. Okay, our goal is to get our immediate goal is to get 1,000 subscribers. Okay, and we're right now a little over 700. Okay, so our goal is to have 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So with your help, we know we can do that.
Well, I appreciate it. And I tell you what, we'll see you next Thursday night.
All right. Everybody have a good night.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.